Okay, this video will be about ECW, and which probably means it won't get too many views, but more people should watch ECW because it's good. But yeah, this will then, as I'm sure everyone will imagine, be about Christian Cage. I would like to quickly mention TJ Wilson though as well. TJ Wilson is a tremendous wrestler. He is technically sound. His look is meh, a little bit. I wasn't so keen on his tights. They were pretty shocking. But the talent is with him as well. A lot of people are saying like this is a bit of a kick in the face to D.H. Smith because he said, look, this foundation thing isn't getting over, just put me in the legacy. And then they've said, okay, you stabbed your cousin and your mate in the back, so now you can stay in SCW and we're going to call them up. But yeah, I think bringing Natty up as well, there's a chance that they could just put the foundation on ECW. Personally, I think the foundation needs a main event face to feud against the Legacy. I think that would be cool. But for the minute, we just got TJ Wilson, Tyson Kidd, and yeah, he was good. What's he called? I think he calls it like the blueprint or something stupid like that. He calls that finisher. Or Code Blue. Code Blue, that's the word. Yeah, he did that well. Yeah, all in all, he's pretty good. So we'll move on from him then to Christian Cage, or he's just been called Christian. I thought he should have been called Christian Cage because I don't think TNA had the rights to Christian Cage. But yeah, because when you think Christian, you think Edge and Christian, you know, the mid-card guy, the tag team guy. You think Christian Cage, you think, oh, the guy who was the NWA World Champion. So yeah, but anyway, he's on ECW, which I know will disappoint a lot of people. Obviously, there's been rumours about him coming back for a long, long time. So you know, I think a lot of people had ideas about how they would have used him. One thing you do have to remember is apparently Vince McMahon has never been the biggest Christian Cage fan, and you know, back in just before he left, when they half tried to main event him, Vince was kind of the one who said, "No, I'm not particularly keen on Christian Cage in the main event, Christian in the main event." But anyway, this is the thing. There's good and bad sides of him being on ECW. The good, ECW needs a top face. Desperately needed one. Matt Hardy leaving was a blow. Jack Swagger gets the belt. Well, it wasn't a blow, you know. It had to happen, Matt Hardy going on SmackDown. But for ECW, it was never going to be easy to fill that void. Because, you know, you got Jack Swagger as champion. He's heel. He's very green. And, you know, who's his first challenger then? Finlay. You know, that's not going to work. That can't work for anything more than one cycle to a pay-per-view. So they needed someone. Evan Bourne is still out for probably the best part of a month. So they needed someone, and Christian coming in I think is a good thing. I think they'll probably do what they did with Matt Hardy. They put him on ECW, they said, right, here's the belt. And I think Matt made ECW more must-watch TV. You felt more inclined to watch ECW because Matt Hardy was there, Matt Hardy was champion, so I think that bodes well for Matt going on to SmackDown and possibly being WWE champion. So I think him being, you know, because that's the difference between the ECW title and the Intercontinental and the US titles. They probably only mean about the same thing, but because ECW is, you know, that is the brand, that is the brand's title, and that is the only title on the brand. You know, you're the main man if you're holding that belt. So I think Matt Hardy being the ECW champion was kind of a trial run for him being WWE champion in the future, and hopefully they'll do the same with Christian Cage. They'll see if, you know, right, maybe now he'll win the belt off Jack Swagger, and 4 months down the line he'll be on SmackDown after like a 3-month title reign. You know, and say to Christian Cage, right, you are sink or swim. You know, do you want to be World Heavyweight Champion or WWE Champion? Well, have a good run with the ECW title then. And so that's what I'm assuming they will do with him, and it'll be up to him to, like I said, have a good run with the ECW title, and then maybe they will be interested in putting a WWE or World title on it. As far as SmackDown goes, obviously it is a bit of a disappointment because SmackDown is the best show, hands down. Michael Hayes a huge part of the back of how he's booking that show. There's so many young guys there. There's so many guys that are very over at the minute and, you know, are heading towards the main event, and not just, you know, the Big Show and the Undertaker and Triple H. You've got, you know, Edge, Matt Hardy, Jeff Hardy. I still think if it wasn't for Kendrick doing so much pot, they could be doing a lot more with him. You know, a lot of younger guys are getting a chance there. They're maybe not on Raw, which maybe only Orton is getting on Raw. And I personally wanted to see Christian come in as a heel, and they could do Hardy Boys versus Edge and Christian over the ECW and WWE championships. Just one last time, have a ladder match for both titles. I think that would have been cool. Eventually leading into WrestleMania, Jeff v Edge, Christian v Matt for both titles. But yeah, they decided to go the whole way with Matt Hardy being the one to cost. Everyone thought it was going to be Christian was going to cost Jeff the belt. They went the way of having Matt cost Jeff the belt, and I'm okay with that. I think that'll be quite a good storyline, and it'll be probably a decent match at WrestleMania, which is where it's going to go. So yeah, that's all good and well. I know everyone will say, oh, well, they should have had him join Edge and feud Edge, all these sort of things. But like I said, I think him being on, that's got a lot to do with Vince McMahon. I don't think Vince is hugely convinced on Christian as a main event guy, so I think ECW is this trial run for him. And it's up to him now. People can say, oh, well, Vince McMahon's, it's like a rumour website I go on, which probably a lot of people do, and Ryan Clark, the guy who writes it, put his own note in it. He said this pretty much just shows that Vince McMahon doesn't really believe in Christian, and he'll probably be pretty pissed about all this. Well, for me, they've kind of said to him, okay, you've been out the company for 4 or 5 years. You were never a main event guy here anyway, So here you are, you're on ECW, make something of it, and then we will main event you on SmackDown. And I like Christian Cage. I thought he was really good in TNA. I think he really didn't particularly reinvent himself in TNA, but he, used his name value and got over, and I liked him. And I think he improved in the ring, and now he's got a chance. That's what it is. I don't think people should look at it as a kick in the teeth putting him on ECW. I think it is a chance, and it's up to him. If he can get over, if he can, he will get the ECW title. If he can get a run with that and make people tune into ECW the way Matt Hardy did, then I'm sure he'll end up on SmackDown, and I'm sure he will end up in a main event feud with Edge, against Edge, against the Hardy Boys or whatever. I'm sure something like that will happen. And yeah, all in all, ECW needed Christian Cage because Evan Bourne is too far away, and Evan Bourne would have needed a lot of pushing to get to that level Christian Cage instantly comes in at. So yeah, I think it's good for everyone. I think he'll have to work hard, but he can do it, and he will eventually, hopefully, get up into the main event on SmackDown, which is the A show. And you look at it, and like I said, there's not too many guys getting the chances on Raw. You look at Orton, DiBiase and Rhodes are getting a little bit of a push off this. Miz and Morrison are doing okay in the tag team division, nothing special. They're both better than I think they could be. The tag team division could be getting used a lot better. They should be on Raw every single week, in my opinion. They're not. Crime Time should be on Raw every single week. They're not. Punk, he's on Raw most weeks, but I think they could be doing slightly more with him. So SmackDown is the show to be on, and I'm sure Christian Cage will be there in about 4 months. But like I said, he will have to work hard for himself on ECW. And yeah, ECW is a good show. Tyson Kidd, TJ Wilson, thrilled about that. I think I've been looking forward to him getting called up. I wanted the Calgary Bulldogs to get called up so we could have had another tag team, but there we are. He was pretty good. If we're going to feud him with Jamie Noble, that'll be good. Should see some decent matches out of those two. And yeah, I'm going to go. Christian Cage back in WWE. They could have given it a bit more fanfare, but what are you going to do? Let's see what happens. I'm out. Cheers.